It's 2017. Sam Hickey still isn't here anymore. But you felt his presence tonight. We had a swap between the Kings and the Sixers. Thank you, Sam. The night that your banner gets raised up to the rafters. The lottery tonight was about you. Thanks to you, the Sixers have the third pick in the 2017 NBA draft instead of the fifth one. But we're about to get into this right now. This is kind of a tricky situation to be in at number 3. Let's bring Kyle into the show now.
Yes, man, it was. Thank you, Sam, for putting us in every position to make this team improve, but this is a sticky situation. I don't know, man. This is tough. I was hoping we were going to get the top pick. I got so excited. And then it unfolded like that. And what do we do in the situation? I would much rather even have 5 now. I'm not even going to lie. This is tough.
It is tough because Malik Monk's been the guy I've wanted like all year. But at like number 3, it's tough to pass on Josh Jackson too.
It is because of what he can do. He can defend all 4 positions. From point down to power forwards. He's super athletic. He can dunk, but he's not like a pure scorer like we really need. We got to surround this team with shooters.
That's the problem, and that's why it's such a tricky situation to be in. And
it's like, what do? We need a wing, which is what he does. He'd be great in transition, but it's too early to take Monk at number 3, I think.
Yeah. And Monk is the shooter. Monk is the perfect fit for this team. Simmons' ability to drive and kick, let him go sit on the wing in the corners, let him hit threes. With Jackson, Jackson's a fit too because he can run the floor and all that, great defensively. But in a half-court situation, you have Jackson, you have Simmons, you have Embiid. Who's going to score the ball for you? Who can go ISO?
None of those guys, and that's where Jason Tatum could be inserted. He's a great isolation player, but I think it's a little
more than I do.
It's a little too early to take him at 3 too. I wouldn't take him at number 3. Now, if we were at 5, it would make a lot more sense between him and Monk, but it's too early to take Jason Tatum at number 3. But he's the perfect isolation scorer. That's what he does best. But man alive, Adrian, I don't know. I was so excited we were going to get that pick. The only luck we can hope for now is if the Celtics or Ball go crazy like they did last year with the Jaylen Brown pick. We can hope that something like that happens. That's the only way I think we're going to get our guy.
Yeah. Going back to Jackson, he reminds me of Butler and Leonard, but he just can't shoot. And that's the thing, the guy is just like crazy athletic. And just the versatility, just the high basketball IQ that he possesses. I believe he averaged even over 3 assists a game in college. So he can distribute the ball as well if you want him to. Jackson, it's just like, man, they need a scorer.
You need a scorer.
And you're looking at Josh Jackson. If they take him, that's leading to.
What's that?
If they take Josh Jackson, you know what that's leading to, right?
KL's getting signed.
Kyle Lowry's going to get signed.
Which I don't want to happen at all. I don't want that to happen.
There would be your isolation ball guys.
Oh, God. That is just the worst situation, Adrian. We talked about it. I don't want Kyle Lowry here. He's not going to push us over the hump to get us into contention. By the time we are contending, he's going to be too old. God knows what he's going to command in free agency. It's going to be a lot of dollars.
Yeah.
I
will say this in a somewhat defense of the move. If they can get him for 3 years, if he somehow agrees to a 3-year contract instead of like a big multi-year deal, then all of a sudden I'm not hating it.
Yeah, if it's
still draft your point guard of the future like next year or something.
True. It's got to be the right amount of money. It's got to be the right amount of years. But I can't see him doing that. He's 31 years old. How much more basketball does he have left in his career? Why would he take a 3-year deal? He'll be 34 by that point. He's not going to be getting paid.
Yeah, I agree. I'm just throwing a scenario out there. Like, we were being real. Like, when we didn't want Kyle Lowry, we were being realistic, knowing that he's going to get a multi-year deal. and that's why we don't want him. Because by the time that fourth, fifth year comes along, I mean, he's shot. He's done.
And that's when we'll be in contention. That's when we'll be fighting for the Eastern Conference Finals in, hopefully making it to the finals and hoisting up that trophy.
Yeah. Jahlil Okafor, do you think it's possible that they trade him on draft night, maybe add a couple second rounders, maybe you can get back into the top 10? I don't know if you can get into the top 10, though.
Not with Jahlil Okafor. You're going to have to make that very enticing, like give up one of our assets, maybe the Lakers pick next year. Now that it's unprotected, I don't know how valuable it's going to be. So you would want to unload that pick now, depending on what they do in free agency. And now that they get their pick, they're going to be on the up and up. That's why this pick was so important to get it this year, because we're not going to be it's not going to be in the top 3, top 5 next year. I think it's going to be at the lower end of the draft. Yeah,
I'm with you there. The Lakers, I don't think they're going to be top 3 bad next year. But that's a scenario that'll be interesting. Now, I'm not doing Okafor in the pick for Monk. No, that's way too much. But maybe, I don't know.
He's going to have to be an add-in with something.
I'm trying to find a way to get Jackson and Monk both in this draft.
God, if we can do that, they're going to have to work some magic. Does he have the ability to do that? Brian Colangelo is the thing. I could see him giving them too much. Say, given the Kings pick, the Lakers pick, and maybe Dario Saric for a top pick this year.
Yeah,
to get Monk and Jackson, because if we can land those two, that would be a dream come true. We're right back in it.
Yeah. It's hard to pass on Monk at 3.
It is.
Yeah.
It's going to be how much do they value him throughout the, how much do the scouts really study him? How much does the team really like him? Because they'll pull the trigger on him if they like him enough.
Yeah. And I don't think there's no shot. I don't think it's anybody other than Fultz
and Ball going 1-2. Yeah, there's no doubt.
Especially since LA has number 2.
Yeah, there's no way they're going any other direction. But you could pose the question, why does Boston go for a guard when they're so guard heavy already? Why not go? I mean, they're not going to go Josh Jackson because they got Jaylen Brown last year. But look at all the guys they've drafted already. I know that Fultz is a way better prospect than all those guards that they had already, but why add another guy? That's the only thing I'm praying for, is that they go somewhere off the spectrum. It's not going to happen. But
that's where you could say, they could always trade Avery Bradley.
True.
Somebody.
But can IT really play? Do you think you can play 2 guard?
I think he and Fultz would be an interesting combo, but I think it would work.
It probably will.
That's a combination.
That would be a nice combination. I'm just trying to look at it half full. I don't know.
What if? All right, we're handing out all these scenarios that are never going to happen. But let's say it's all right. Let's say the Sixers want to trade up to number 1, and because Boston, all right, maybe they don't want to take that guard. Trade with the Sixers at 3. Sixers get Fultz. What would it take to get that to number 1?
It's going to take a lot. It's going to be probably what Boston gave up.
If it's Lakers pick next year, you don't think they could get up to 1?
I don't think so. I don't think that's enticing enough. I think it's going to take the Kings pick, maybe 4 second rounders, and a Dario Saric probably.
All to move up just 2 spots?
Yeah. We've seen it in other drafts. We've seen it in the NFL. I know it's 2 different.
Well, we're not the Bears, okay?
I would hope not. Look who's running our organization. You never know. Never say never. But I think it would take a king's ransom. I mean, look what they got for Kevin Garnett and Paul Pierce. I mean, I would hope they wouldn't be stupid enough to get fleeced like Billy King did and that organization.
Well, that's a scenario that's never going to happen. We're not going to Vlade Divac and Billy King aren't going to be the general manager for every trade.
No. So if they can work out a deal and it's reasonable, you would do it. But I can't see Boston doing that. They're right there, and to add a franchise player, it said they hadn't picked number 1 since '66 or something. I mean, the last time they've had a franchise player,
they're taking that's the perfect pick.
Yeah, it is. I mean, they basically won the lottery. Literally, it's just fool's gold. Here you go. You're playing for a championship, and it's adding another great piece. You're not a bad team. And then poor Brooklyn's sitting over there with no picks for the next 10 years. And they're just a bottomless pit.
Oh man. All right, so let's see who else. 4 was the Suns, and then 5 was the Kings. So the Kings were number 3, and we were number 5. So we originally got the number 5 pick, and that was the greatest odds of where we would pick.
I know, and it was exciting because when the Knicks got 8th, it was like, oh, the Kings could be top 3. So we were looking at the scenario, say we pick 5, and the Kings somehow land 2 or 3. Possibly 2. That's what we wanted, and it just didn't happen that way. We were in the top 3, and then 3, 2, 1.
I got confused with the Kings logo at first at 10 because from what I read, it was like if the Kings are at 8, 9, 10, or 11, it was going to be top 3.
That's what they said.
Yeah, but then I saw their logo at 10, so I'll have to look into that, what that was about. That was like something with the Pelicans or something?
Yeah, they had a trade with the Pelicans.
That was probably part of that Boogie trade.
The DeMarcus Cousins, yeah. So if it was higher than that, they kept their pick. But that's why it was kind of confusing. And they kept messing stuff up on the TV, too. They were saying the wrong information. So, it's good to see the Knicks fall all the way down there, though, and not really get a franchise player. They're a bottomless pit, too. So a win for us as well. I'd like to see that. But doesn't it look at the 3 teams that were in the top 3. It's those storied franchises back again. Yeah. It's Boston, LA, and the Sixers, the teams that ran the 80s.
It's rigged, right?
Coincidence, huh? I don't know. Could it be rigged? I think it is.
Of course you think it's rigged.
Let me have my fun. It's rigged. I'm just glad the Lakers didn't get the top pick, but Magic knew something. Look how cocky and happy he was over there. He knew we weren't getting his pick. Him and all his teeth.
Embiid's reactions were priceless.
Yeah, they were good. I was hoping that banter would be good back and forth, and it was. Magic and all his teeth.
Embiid's reactions, when they were at number 5, and then he was like, "What?"
He was happy when we got the Kings pick because he's like, "Yeah, it's going to be top 3." Everybody got psyched, and then when we got the 3rd, he was just like, "Oh man, come on!" He wanted a Fultz or a Ball on this team.
Yeah, that's the thing. It comes back to this question. It's like, if Lonzo Ball was there at number 3, do you take him?
I think you have to at that point. Not that he would ever fall to 3, but for some mysterious chance, if he did, I think you'd have to overlook everything off the court and just look at what he does on the court, and you have to take him because he's a supreme talent for sure.
But it's I don't know how he and Simmons are going to coexist.
Right, I don't know if that could happen. And then even if he was on there, would the Sixers brass think he and Ben Simmons could coexist because they're both ball-dominant point guards?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, like Ball does play a little bit differently than Simmons, but he's more unselfish, I think. But they're both point guards. They're not. We need to start getting some scorers in here. Shit, man.
We got our distributor. We got our low post scorer. We need the pieces around them, guys that can really light it up from the outside. And, Monk's really good on pick and roll, screens. He would be perfect. But do you see a scenario where we maybe even trade out of that pick? Maybe go back to 5, depending on what we get. This would be a hinky move right there.
We're going to go back to 5 and take Isaac.
Oh, God. Just load the gun now. We'll trade.
Stay 3 and take Jackson. I don't.
We'll pass on Jackson and just take Isaac at number 3. Done deal. God, I hope not. Now we get to let this sit and settle a little bit and sizzle in the pan for the next month. This kind of just gets you excited, It sucks that it's such a far in between, another month. We have to wait till June 22nd. To see who we're going to pick. But this is going to be a lot of studying and a lot of thinking, I hope, going on with the Sixers front office.
Yeah, I mean, I'm trying to think of what could the pick be if it's not Jackson?
I don't know who else you could put at that point. It definitely not De'Aaron Fox. Too early for him. Too early for Malik Monk.
I don't think it's too early for De'Aaron Fox, by the way.
You don't think? You think he'd go top 3?
I think there's the potential. Well, obviously, depending how the ping pong balls would fall, but I think he's top. He's up there. I like Fox's talent a lot. I just don't know if he works with the Sixers.
Mm-hmm.
That's all. You know, like it's like with him is like because he can't shoot. Now, granted, in the NBA, you work on your shot over time. I've made this point last year with Ben Simmons, but now you're talking about you got 2 question marks with Simmons and Fox on your team. That's why I'd be a little hesitant on that.
I was a little hesitant to do. At least one of them could be more consistent.
And I'm being a hypocrite because I want Josh Jackson. So it's like, well, Josh Jackson, he can't shoot like Fox either.
It all depends on the determination of the player. Kawhi Leonard couldn't shoot when he came in. Neither could Jimmy Butler. Now they're both 2 premier scorers and, cornerstones of their franchise. Neither of them were great shooters when they came out of college. They just worked on their game. And look at Kawhi Leonard. I mean, he's unbelievable. He's like close to 40% from behind the arc. And whatever he is from the free throw line, like 85%. That's just hard work. So I think you can teach somebody how to shoot. You definitely can. I'm recanting on what I said last year, but you can. You look at over the history, you can. But it's a tough pick in this situation. I would love to have Josh Jackson, but I'm just worried about what our Brian Colangelo and company are going to do.
I'm just like already picturing that scene, man. That Simmons with the defensive rebound pushes the ball up the floor. There's Jackson along
the Jackson alley-oop. That would be great.
That's a dangerous break if you got Simmons and Jackson on it.
Now, I've seen comparisons, and I don't know if this is just because they're one-year wonders at Kansas, but I've seen a lot of comparisons between him and Andrew Wiggins. Do you see that for Josh Jackson at all?
I think Wiggins is a better shooter. I think Jackson's a way better defender. So, I mean, athletically, I see the comparison, but other than that, not really.
Yeah,
I see where people are coming from there. I guess from athletic standpoint.
Mm-hmm. And defensively, they were both really good defenders in college. And I'm not going to sit here and say I hate the 3rd pick. It's just a really tough situation on where we go. Just Josh Jackson, if that's who we pick, takes us over the hump into the next level. But who's going to score the ball? Who's going to be that go-to scorer if none of these guys can shoot?
Yeah, you better hope that the Lakers pick next year is good and you get a score.
Yeah, we just pray for injuries. We hope Paul George doesn't go out there, and you just hope they fall flat on their face for the first year for Magic running the team, his old organization.
Yeah. I mean, I'm going back to the Wiggins and Jackson. I mean, Wiggins he wasn't necessarily a great shooter coming out of college either.
No, he wasn't. And he's worked on his game, and he's a pretty good shooter now.
But like I feel like Jackson needs to like literally work on a lot on his shot. Like I don't like his release. His release reminds me. Remember Josh Childress?
Yes.
Like that low kind of release. Like when I see him shoot the ball, that's what it reminds me of.
And you don't want that. You want to shoot over defenders, and I think that's what really helps Wiggins out is the way he's able to, jump over everybody because he's got such a great vert. So that helps him out, even if he did have a lower release. But Josh Jackson, I don't think, has the ups that Andrew Wiggins has.
Yeah. Ups are pretty similar, though. Like, he can get up.
Yeah, I don't offhand, I don't know if do you know what his vert was? I know Wiggins was like a 42 or a 43.
Let me see.
And I'll pose another question to you. This comes back to, back in the day when the Blazers were picking. Do you pick for need or you just take best player available too? Because that's the reason the Blazers didn't pick Michael Jordan is because they had, Clyde Drexler already. So we're kind of in the same position. Do you go back to best player available? That's what put us in the situation with Jahlil Okafor. Do we still go over that or do we draw from the well and get a shooter?
If number 1 and number 2 are Fultz and Ball, I don't think that question really matters.
Do you reach for Monk then? Because we need shooters. Do you reach that high or you just go with the wing defender, which we also need?
That's so tough to answer.
I know.
Like that, like it's going to take a lot of balls to take Malik Monk over Josh Jackson.
Yeah, I know. I don't think the Lakers will do that. They got their guy because I can definitely see the Celtics taking, Fultz over Ball. I don't know if he would. Who knows? Maybe they would.
No, they would. Or wait, I misheard that.
I said maybe that the Celtics would they take Ball over Fultz? I don't think they would because he can score on all 3 levels.
Yeah, I misheard that. I thought you said what if the Lakers would take Fultz. I'm like, what?
No,
Then I realized what I said.
It's a match made in heaven, Ball gets to stay in L.A. Perfect. LeVar gets what he wants. Lakers get their dominant point guard, which they've been lacking. And who knows? Maybe watch Ball could be a bust. We don't even know. He hasn't stepped on the court yet.
Yeah, I like Lonzo Ball a lot. I mean, I think you know that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I know you're a big fan. Much as you like Simmons coming out last year.
Yeah. I'm trying to find his vertical.
He did participate at the combine.
Oh, ads. I can't. I'm not gonna find anything. I'm sure I can find something, but not like right
instantly, now.
Right away. Not instantly.
Oh man, top three, tough. It's a tough Sixers fan. What does everybody else think? Is everybody happy with these picks?
All right, let me pull up the comments. See who they want. A lot of people don't like Josh Jackson, by the way, either.
Yeah, I wonder why. I'd like to hear why.
I used to be one of those people, actually.
I'm not a biggest fan of his game. I've told you that before. I mean, he's special athletically. I don't know if I'd be hard to pass up on him, though, because of his defensive skills and what he can do in transition. I'd love to see.
It's just scary to think where you go from here, though, if you take Josh Jackson.
True.
Maybe you can slide back like 2 spots and take Monk.
I definitely think you could. If you don't think Jackson's the guy, you need shooters. I could see them doing that. But what do you get? Is anybody willing to trade up, and what are they willing to give up? This is why I would feel safe with Hinkie there, because he would think this out. He would get best deal available, and he'd probably even fleece him. But Brian Colangelo, as you all know, my faith is not too entrusted in that guy.
Someone saying, look up Peter Jock, might be a steal for a shooter, as if I don't know who Peter Jock is.
Is he saying for like a 2nd-round pick?
I guess so.
One of our 3 or 4 second-round picks.
A lot of people are saying Monk. People don't like Jackson. I love how people just say Jackson is not that good, but then they can't explain why.
So they're just saying they don't like him.
Some people are, yeah. I don't see it. They're comparing like our boy Eric is saying Kid Gilchrist for JJ.
They're saying what he's saying. Kid Gilchrist for who?
Josh Jackson.
For Josh Jackson, really? Oh God, Gilchrist.
I see Sean Marion.
Yeah, versatile, switchblade out there, can do a lot of things. Kid Gilchrist was a big bust. I think, though, Josh Jackson's better offensively than Kid Gilchrist.
I agree, yeah. Jackson I think he has too high of a basketball IQ and too athletic to fail and be a bust. He's too good defensively to be a bust.
Yeah, I mean, if all else fails, he could be a lockdown defender. It sucks to have that at 3, but that's not a bad position to be in. You want to have guys that can lock down defensively. That's huge. Lock down somebody's best player.
Ron Laws continues to push Dennis Smith Jr. He loves.
No Dennis Smith at 3. I wasn't taking him at 5. There's no way I'm taking him at 3. I'm sorry, Ron. I don't see it.
No, he's not saying at 3. He's just saying he's the steal of the draft.
Oh. But I would assume he would probably say at 3. Ron, would you take him at 3?
I think he wants Monk.
Okay.
I might want Monk over time. It's hard right now.
I wanted Monk since day 1. If it's at 3, then
that's the scary thing. It's like that's what I've wanted since day 1. So why the fuck am I changing now?
I don't know. You're questioning it. Because you probably thought we were picking. I mean, I didn't think we would be picking in the top 3. I was set on us picking 4 and 5.
Picking Monk at 3 is it is a reach.
That's what it's got to be. They've got to be sold on his game and thinking he's going to fit perfectly with this system. And sometimes that could work for an organization. And just falling in the right situation, like Tim Duncan fell in the right situation. And so did Kawhi Leonard. Kawhi Leonard would not have turned into the player I think he is today if he stayed with Indiana. So that has a lot to do with it too. Right coach, right situation. Maybe Malik Monk, but they got to make sure that he is their guy at number 3. Because this could still determine our franchise's future for the next 5 to 10 years. For sure.
Yeah. Malik Monk, I've never seen a guy consistently hit so many contested shots.
Which is what you want to see. And that I think that knocks him for being 6 foot and or 6'2" for being a small shooting guard.
He's a small shooting guard, but he's so damn athletic, he plays a little bit longer.
Exactly. That's why I'm okay with that. He might be shorter, but he has consistently hit contested shots, which is fine. He's got a quick release.
I'm fine with him being small because we got Ben Simmons, we got Joel. Our team is long as hell.
Yeah, I don't care about the size.
The size doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. I don't care about that.
All right, I'm changing now. I want Malik Monk. I've been loving him all year long. I shouldn't derive from that just because all the mocks have Josh Jackson at number 3.
Yeah, stick with your gut, man. I mean, Josh Jackson's an incredible player. I just would rather have a shooter on this team. Love this kid since day one, watching him play in Lexington.
And that makes me want to trade back and try to acquire some assets.
Some picks. We could, because I think he'd still be there. You look at the Suns; they don't need a shooter. And then who's picking at 5? The Kings.
Yeah, they got Buddy Hield. Yeah,
so they're not going to take him either. So they could be willing. But what are they going to give up, the Kings? We already have their pick for 2019.
I know, right?
What are you going to give us? Unless you give us Hield. But they got nothing else. Unless they give us picks for the next 5 years for 2020 to 23.
I'm sure Vlade Divac would love to trade up to number 3.
Hey, he might give us the Brooklyn Celtics situation right here.
Fleece him again?
Take Jahlil Okafor off our hands. Take Jahlil Okafor and the 3rd pick for the next 5 years of your first-round pick. Let's get it done. Come on, Brian Colangelo. Make us proud. Hinky him.
I'm really curious to see how Dennis Smith pans out because I know Ron loves him and he's the one guy I don't like. Him and Jonathan Isaac.
Yeah, no Jonathan Isaac. And who knows about Dennis Smith? I'd like to see how his career plays out too.
I think he's very lazy defensively. And he's just there are times he just doesn't care. Just doesn't care.
And he plays really hard, and I know he's got that busted up knee, so how long will that hold up with him playing like that?
We'll see. We'll see what he had games where he goes off against Duke, and then there's other games where he just no-shows.
True. You could say that about a couple players that have kind of no-showed. I know a lot of people thought, Markelle Fultz was nothing special because he didn't get his team to the tournament, which is crap.
Well, that's what they said about Simmons.
Yeah, that doesn't mean anything.
Yeah, Malik Monk at 3.
I'm fine with that. I'll be happy with that if that's if we take. Or if we trade back 2 spots or 3 spots to get them still and acquire more assets.
Going back to the comments.
I was about to say, has anybody said anything who they definitely want for sure at 3? Since it's definitely going Fultz ball.
Yeah, someone's saying that Monk is a streaky shooter. I think he's a great shooter. I don't think he's consistent. I don't know what nah.
After he lit up, what was it, North Carolina for whatever, he had a couple games where he didn't shoot that well, but that's what happens with shooting. You're never going to be hot all the time.
No. Jackson is a good fit in Philly. This is a no-brainer. So there are people that like the pick. Fox needs to be up, so I see a De'Aaron Fox one.
I get behind that. I like De'Aaron Fox. I'd rather have Monk over Fox, but I do like Fox.
Saying aside from defense, Jackson does nothing well. That's a freaking terrible assessment.
He's a great rebounder.
That's like one of the worst assessments I've seen on here. Fultz needs to tweak an ankle. Get Fultz and sit him for the season. I love Eric.
That's awesome.
Someone's saying Simmons and Jackson, both small forwards. Dude, you can rotate that. Like, you can have one night you can have Simmons defend the 4 and Jackson defend the 3. It doesn't matter.
Yeah. That'd be a fun combination to have out there if we do decide to go with JJ.
I'm really curious to see how Dennis Smith pans, because, like,
Ron's getting behind it, huh?
yeah, you'd take Monk over Jackson? Are you kidding? See, like, I love how people just comment, but they don't give reasoning why.
Why? Yeah, give an explanation why.
Shamari Holman, give me an explanation. Enlighten me. Jackson's a little more athletic than Butler. That's your reasoning? So they should pick Jackson at number 3 because he's a little bit more athletic than Butler. Okay? Cool. I have Fultz, Jackson, and Fox on a different tier than everyone else. Forgot about Ball, Vincent.
Yeah, they're.
Oh, he's definitely a suspect shooter. Not disagreeing with you there.
Who's that? Jackson?
Yeah.
Yeah, he definitely is. But you can work on that.
Bet you're glad you don't have to mention Isaac.
Yes, thank God.
Yeah, that's Ron. That's what worries me about taking Jackson at 3 because he can't shoot. Like, we need to get scorers in here. This is a very weird spot to be in.
So do you go for a player of need, or you just go best player available? Because best player available would be Jackson, but need would be Monk.
And Monk isn't even going to go top 5. I don't think.
You don't think? I think he will.
I don't think Phoenix or Sacramento needs him.
True. What about trades, though? I mean, it doesn't happen often, but it could still happen. He might go down this. Who's picking 6?
Dude, from mocks I've seen, Monk isn't going top 5.
They're saying he's going like 7 to what?
It's
6
like
to
6
10.
to 9-ish.
Man, I don't know though. I wonder why that is.
Who is the best 2 guard in the draft over 6'4"? Oh, I got to think about that. Let's think, Kyle. Let's put our thinking glasses on. Hey, Adrian, how do you feel about Tatum? I'm not a big Tatum guy either.
I like Tatum.
Kyle likes Tatum.
I'm a big fan of Tatum. I think he would fit perfect in our system. He's great on iso ball, can create his own shot. I mean, he's a little lazy defensively, but he can work on that. We got Embiid back there protecting the rim, but he can score the basketball. But I think it's a reach at 3.
All right, Shamari has responded again. If Monk is having a bad shooting night, you think he's better than Jackson? You need to think about that too.
Yes, I do, because he can do other things than shoot. He can drive the ball. He can create his own shot.
Juan goes, Josh IQ is high, guys. Defend 1 through 4. Yeah, we've said that.
Mm-hmm.
He can score, just not a natural. I mean, he can score, but it's not. He needs other people to help him.
To create for him.
People need to help him score. That's how he scores.
With
lobs, fast break,
off pick and roll too. Malik Monk doesn't, though. He can create his own shot. That's why I really like Monk as a prospect. If his shot's not going down, he can drive to the 10.
Yeah. All right, I'm done arguing with Shamari.
That would be my pick right there. Monk, regardless. I'm taking Monk at 3.
Monk is Lou Williams 2.0. That's not even close to a good comparison.
And I like Lou Williams. Is that supposed to be?
Well, Lou Williams isn't a shooter. Monk is a shooter.
Yeah, he's a knockdown shooter.
Yeah.
I wish we still had Sweet Lou, on our squad.
Yeah. All right. I want to get back to Eric's question actually, but one more from Ron. Can Monk be anything like CJ from Portland?
Oh, wait, CJ McCollum?
Yeah.
I hope so. I think CJ can get his shot off a little better just because he's bigger, but I think he's got
I think Monk is just like a straight up like shooter. More.
Yeah. I think he relies more on his shot than he does driving to the cup. But I know CJ has developed that over his years because he will drive to the cup. But he's bigger, so he can bully people. That's what kind of hurts Monk not having his size, which I don't think it really matters. But he can't really put anybody down on the block.
Ron is asking, do you think we could trade Okafor and a couple second rounders for a top 10 pick? That we asked about that earlier.
I don't think so.
That would be freaking amazing because then you can go and get Monk.
We'd have to have somebody like, Billy King or Vlade Divac running the organization because I don't think you can get that. I wouldn't take Okafor and a couple second round picks for, pile of trash. They're garbage.
Yeah.
We're going to have to get rid of Okafor somehow, though, because he doesn't fit here. But he's going to have to be packaged with picks, I think. Like our Lakers pick or the Kings pick.
Monk is not the ball handler CJ is, but is way more athletic. I agree with that.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah. Monk is a Lou Williams, Eric Gordon cross. What?
No.
Aren't some of the things you are saying about Jackson the same as what they said about Wiggins? All right, here's the thing about Wiggins. Jackson can get to 10. He's got like a solid first step, but like Wiggins has that go-to spin move that is just like ridiculous.
Mm-hmm.
That Jackson just doesn't have yet.
Mm-hmm.
Wiggins is a lot more natural scorer than
He's got more nimble feet than Jackson.
Yeah, I guess if I'm thinking of what you're going with that.
He's like more smooth driving to the 10, I mean. It's like
smoother. Okay, there you go. Yeah. All right, I want to get back. Yeah, I'm curious about I want to look up the prospects. Hold on. I want to get back to Eric's question. Eric's question, who's the best guard over 6'4" besides
Fultz?
Yeah. Well, let me look. The kid from France.
Yeah, because he's what, like 6'6"?
Yeah.
6'5"?
Except like you can't judge.
I don't know anything about him.
Yeah, you can't judge a kid off highlight videos, so which I'm sure a lot of people do.
Dennis Smith is what, 6'4"?
He's like 6'2", 6'3".
Oh, is he? Good question, Eric. Huh.
That is a good question because there's not many here. You may have to wait until like this. You know who would be an interesting pick? I'd actually like this pick a lot. Edmund Sumner in the second round. He's a guy that got hurt during the year. Xavier still went to the tournament.
Mm-hmm.
Trayvon Blewett took him to the Elite Eight. Trayvon Blewett shit all over Jonathan Isaac, by the way. Another reason, like that tournament game was like a perfect illustration of what Jonathan Isaac is. Like
a big eye opener.
Just a bust. What was I talking about?
You're talking about the kid that got Sumner that got hurt.
Oh yeah. I would love Sumner. If that's the question, there's the answer. Edmund Sumner, because he would have been like a top 15, top 20 pick had he not gotten hurt.
Now, did he declare for the draft, or is he a senior?
Yeah, I'm not sure if he's a senior, but I see him on this list. So
no, he did declare. If he was
an
underclassman.
Darius Thornwell, 6'5". That might be a good one.
Oh yeah, or was he South Carolina?
Yeah, because he can defend really, really well.
You don't think he'd be a late first rounder? You think he'll fall to the second?
I don't think he's fallen to the second, but this mock draft has him in the second.
Probably because he's a senior.
Sumner's actually only a sophomore.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow. No, not Sumner. I was talking about Thorne, the guy from South
I
Carolina.
would say, yeah. Thornwell's a senior, but Sumner, because I said like junior or senior, whatever the hell I
So he's
said.
only a sophomore.
Yeah.
And I'm wondering why the hell Harry Giles declared for the draft. What is going on there?
Yeah, that was like last year with Scalabissiere. Remember, like he had a bad year and he still declared, and he got picked 11th. Like Giles needed another year, definitely.
At least because he looked lost.
Yeah.
He looked completely. I mean, that was Jason Tatum's team, and he was the top overall prospect coming out of high school. Harry Giles was.
Yeah.
And Scalabissiere went to the D League, so he didn't do anything. It's probably just to get paid, get money, maybe, just to be in the NBA.
Well, you get more money if you're drafted higher.
Yeah, I would have just waited, but that's the
You
impatience.
want your money now. That people just aren't patient enough to
It's
wait.
the impatience, right? I mean, I know he's had an injury history too, so maybe that's why he did it too. I mean, I know he's in the top 15 for Jay Billis. Maybe he does get drafted.
Oh man, Shamari again's going nuts. Trade the third pick, Ja and Rocco for Butler or Paul George. No.
Nah.
Because this goes back to our argument about wanting to keep the core young. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm not reaching just to compete and try for a championship. I'm not all about that. I'm all about building from the draft, not signing huge free agents like that, like the NBA has turned into, creating super teams.
Yeah. Vincent threw out a couple names: Frank Jackson, Luke Kennard. I'm not
Luke
big.
Kennard?
I'm not big on Luke Kennard.
Grayson Allen, that whiny baby.
Well, you know my.
Yeah, I know what you feel about the
White boys, American white boys don't translate to the NBA unless his name's Gordon Hayward.
Yeah, I like Gordon Hayward a lot. He's good. But he's worked on his game. I would love to go after him in free agency, but I don't see the Jazz letting him go.
Yeah, so Frank Jackson is the one people are saying. He's another one that should have gone back to school.
There's a couple of kids that should have stayed in. They said this is the youngest draft class they've had, maybe ever, because they said 16 underclassmen or 16 freshmen entered the NBA draft this year.
Youngest ever, even with all those high school kids that they used to have going in?
I think Jay Billis said youngest ever, or one of the youngest.
I heard something like it might be one of the youngest, like in terms of like freshmen taken in the first round or something. Maybe that's was that what I heard or something?
I don't know. Maybe I thought he said that 16 freshmen entered and it was one of the youngest draft class. I could be wrong. I could have misheard.
Well, seems like everyone's a freshman. Like,
I know. That's what the NBA's turned into.
Jackson, I mean, they're all freshmen. Tatum, Fox, Monk. They're all freshmen, every single one of them.
Now, do you think that hurts the league by this happening? Do you think this is hurting the NBA? Because it was with the high school kids, and they nipped that in the bud.
Yeah, I mean,
discussion.
I love college basketball, so I would love to see them do a 2-year thing. But, the 2 years and they play 2 years and go.
Could be better. You get another year under your belt because a lot of these kids aren't ready, and staying in college only helps.
They're not ready physically. Yeah. Like there are exceptions to the rule, like Dwight Howard,
LeBron.
like when LeBron came into the league. But most of these kids are just not there yet from physical.
They're once in a life. They're once in 12 years, 15-year players. That doesn't happen all the time. So
like Fultz is going to come in and do great. Ball's going to come in and do great. Like a lot of them are going to be fine.
Yeah, so some of them don't need it, so I can see that, but I think it's a greater percentage of kids not ready to come in, so I think they are going to look into passing it to be 2 years. I know Adam Silver has talked about that.
I would think that make the college game a lot better.
It would.
Yeah. I thought the one and done thing was going to help the college game, but I think it's actually made it worse.
Yeah, because you just go to college for 1 year, and then it's basically just like coming right out of high school. You play 1 year, and then you leave.
Yeah, and we've had some Yeah, I don't know. I don't think it's been the best basketball lately from college.
No. And the playoffs, this year's playoffs have been kind of boring. So, you have to wonder if they're going to change anything about doing that. I know they're talking about not getting rid of, but making a rule about resting players and stuff. They're just trying to make the overall experience better because these playoffs haven't been good at all. Everybody's looking forward.
It's dude, like it's like I'm trying to stay with it but every game's a blowout. Every home team keeps winning.
It's boring. It's
boring.
They got to.
Only until recently have the games finally gotten good.
Yeah, that's because you're getting later into the playoffs, later rounds. But everybody's been waiting for LeBron versus, the Warriors again.
Well, that's the problem. It's a 2-team league.
Yep. That's what happens when you create super teams. It's boring to watch. It's not fun. I hate it.
Well, when you were in the 80s and you had Magic and Bird going at it all those years, at least in 1987, you still had the Pistons. And I mean, you could say it's a 3-team league. You could say the Spurs are up there too. But
the Spurs are in there.
Yeah. So it's like, but there's only 3 teams that can win it all. Like,
yeah. I think you're right, though. I think it was probably a little more competitive back in the day. You had other teams that were in it. You had the Chicagos, you had the Utah Jazz, you had the Pistons, like you said, the Lakers, the storied franchises. Gee, like the 80s, are we bringing it back, making them all great again? Yes. The Sixers will rise again, guys.
Hey, man, if they want to rig the lottery for the Sixers, go ahead.
I would be fine with that. And it's not to say that the top pick will be better than the third pick. We don't know until a couple years from now. We could get the better player. But as of now, looks like Fultz is going to be a pretty sure thing.
Yeah, I think him and Ball are like going to be studs too.
Yeah, I think so too.
Those are your studs. And the rest of it's like, we'll see. See what happens.
Oh, man, Malik Monk's going to be a superstar, Hall of Famer. We're drafting at number 3. It's taking us to the top. That's what's happening. Done deal.
I don't know how I'm going to react on draft night if they take Jackson or Monk. I don't know.
They could go completely. They could take Jonathan Isaacs. We don't know.
Oh, no, please, God. Oh. They're so enamored with him, they take him at 3.
We'll have champagne and tissues just sitting there, just in case, to pick what they're going to pick. We could cry if they make the wrong decision, or just be happy and celebrate if they make the right decision.
I'm going to hire EDP to kill Brian Colangelo.
I think everybody would get on board with that. I don't think anybody would have any qualms.
EDP already wants to get rid of Doug Peterson. I'll tell him to take care of, BC on the way, too.
Do a little spring cleaning?
Yeah, do a little 2-for-1 deal. Kill 2 birds with 1 stone.
He'll do it for free. He wouldn't even have to be paid. I think he would do it for free.
Oh, for Doug Peterson? Absolutely.
I can get behind that, EDP. Yeah. I'm with you there.
All right. You want to check more comments, then get final thoughts?
Yeah, let's check a couple more comments, and then
we'll answer a couple more questions. This has been a long show considering there's not really too many options at 3. Let's see. Trade Okafor for Denzel Valentine.
It would be something. I don't know what really Denzel Valentine would do.
See, this is why Eric is my boy. Adrian is my brother from another mother. No American white boys in the first round. Hell yeah! That's what I'm talking about. No white boys. I'm racist.
They can't play basketball.
So if you had the option to trade for a realistic free agent by giving up this year's pick and the Lakers pick along with Ja, would you stay pat? I'm not giving up my picks.
I would rather just hold on to the assets.
Yeah.
Unless it was for Fultz, but it's not going to happen, so I'd hang on to them. But we should try to move Ja on draft night. I think that's got to become a priority because he just doesn't fit here.
Yeah.
What are you going to get for him?
Hey, Adrian, what if we get Lowry, though?
No.
Do you like Lowry? If it's for 3 years, I'd honestly be fine with it. But it's not going to be for 3 years.
He's going to want a max deal. He's going to want to get paid. This is it. He's in the twilight of his career right now. It's coming towards the end. He's about 30. He's turning 32 this year, or 31. He's not going to be getting paid again.
Start a GoFundMe for EDP to take care of PC.
We got to get on that quick.
What do you not like about Tatum? It's not that I hate Tatum. I think he's average athletically. There's just something there that I'm not liking.
I could look past the unathleticism. I could look past that. He would be a good scoring option.
You know, it's a Duke thing too. Like most of these Duke kids don't pan out either.
Oh, come on, you can't be school biased. You can't be school biased like that. You know that don't matter.
Well, most of those Duke kids aren't athletic.
You know why? You know why they're not athletic?
Because they're smart.
It's true. I think Jason Tatum could be a good piece here.
What are we doing with Dario? We're gonna keep Dario forever.
Yeah, you can't get rid of Dario. Dario's the man. He's gonna win Rookie of the Year.
Rod Laws, I'm just saying. Rod, do you want Lowry? You seem undecided.
I think he might want KL.
I'm not a Fox fan at all. Colangelo loves Duke guys. Tatum reminds me of a young LeVar Ball.
Oh, God. I don't want him now, then.
You're too small.
You're too small. You're just too small.
Freaking love Dario. Oh, yeah, what are we doing with Dario? I think overtime, I mean, it wouldn't surprise me if he started, but I just think, I've said this before, he's better. His talents are better suited off the bench.
And we do need bench scorers. We need a six man on this team, somebody that can come off the bench and light it up. I just don't know if he would want to do that. I think he would do that. He would come to work and do it. I just don't. I think he wants to start. He's come out and said that too when he was coming off the bench.
Trade number 3 for Jimmy Butler.
Nah, I'm good.
I think it would take more than that for Jimmy Butler.
Mm-hmm. I could see him honestly going to maybe the Timberwolves or something.
Somebody is just saying the N-word repeatedly. I wish I could. Can I? Oh, I can. Oh, I can put this user in timeout. There you go. You think Butler's too old to fit with the core?
By the time we're competing, I think he'll be a little too old.
Just a little bit. I mean, yeah. Are we so sure that the Lakers are going to take Ball?
Yes, there's no doubt about it because the Celtics are taking Fultz, for sure.
I would probably agree. Man, we got 3 dislikes. Who the hell's disliking us?
I don't know. They must not.
Oh, never mind. Someone meant to hit the like button. Never mind. I don't know what's going on.
They must not like our. They must not agree with our opinion.
Yeah. Sam Hinkie saved our ass. Rehire him. Yes. Yes. Yes.
The truest word ever spoken.
Please bring back Sam. Philly 500. Let's get it going, man.
Bring Sam. That's what we should do a GoFundMe for too. To kill Brian Colangelo for EDP and then bring Hinkie back. I would love that.
Ball is going to get us that good pick next year. I hope so.
I hope so. I hope he falls flat on his face out there. I hope we get LeVar out there in the media and it just disrupts that whole situation out there in LA. Let's hope. Let's pray that LeVar Ball just stays LeVar Ball and ruins everything.
So why consider bringing in Lowry for 3 years? He's definitely older than Butler. I mean, I'm only considering it. I'm not definitely doing it.
I don't want that to happen at all.
Yeah.
I would rather have, if that was the case, I would do the Jimmy Butler thing. and forget Kyle Lowry.
This guy's saying Celtics have too many guards. Take Fultz and let Thomas go. I would play them together. Are you serious?
I don't think they'll let Thomas go.
I don't think so either. No.
Not after what he's done,
Not
and
after what he did. Yeah.
they're definitely going to lock him up. I'm happy for IT though. The way he's bounced around. I mean, he played good with the Celtics, or not with the Suns when he was with Brandon Knight and what's his face? I can't think of his name. The other Kentucky guard, Bledsoe.
Eric just had the comment of the night.
What?
He just had the comment of the night. Hinkie, I'd give up the 3 just to get him back.
I would too. Yeah, Eric. And give all the assets up to get him back.
Trade the 3 for Hinkie.
Let's do it. Bring him back.
Oh man, this guy's saying Boston's taking Jackson.
No, they took Jaylen Brown last year.
Yeah.
No way.
This guy's saying him and Fultz are the same player. So you're just gonna get rid of Thomas because they're the same player?
I don't think they're the same player.
I don't think so either.
And that's the same case that I mentioned. You take best player available, for sure.
Yeah, got to re-sign Bradley and Smart. If you draft Markelle Fultz, they might trade
Smart's gone.
Smart. Yeah,
Smart's gone.
Somebody will be gone. You guys don't know nothing about my boy Rashawn Holmes. Yeah, we don't know nothing about Rashawn Holmes.
Where did that
come on, dude.
Where did
You know
that
who the fuck you're talking to?
What? Yeah, right. I love Rashawn Holmes, man. He's awesome.
Some people don't know who they're talking to.
I'm all about Rashawn Holmes.
There's no one that can talk. All right, Holmes is not a better Noel. You're drunk. Stop it.
No. He's a good player, but he's no Noel.
Yeah. Have Simmons run the point, draft Josh Jackson. Trust me. Again, it's one of these comments. Like, just make an opinion, but they can't explain why.
Explain why. Please, guys, give us, an explanation with why you think so.
Yeah, if you guys are going to make a statement, like, explain it.
Elaborate a little more.
Oh, my bad, Ron. I meant to call. I meant to answer. Is it just me, or does it seem like the owners don't care about the Sixers and what it means to the city? I absolutely agree.
They don't. That's why we got to get him out. Scott O'Neal is a wasteland. He's got to go. He doesn't care about this organization or the fans. He's all about making money. That's why signing Kyle Lowry would make most sense. That's why they drug out the Ben Simmons and Joel Embiid injuries. Absolutely. All they care about is making money.
Yeah.
It's not like when we had Pat Croce here. He was like the perfect guy when we had him here. And now look what we have.
Somebody's asking, do you think the Sixers are going to draft Jason Tatum?
They could.
They could. I don't like him, but they could.
He's definitely an option there. I think it's between him, Jackson, and possibly Monk if they don't trade back for Monk. I don't know if they're taking Monk at 3, though. But it's definitely between Jason Tatum and JJ.
Colangelo is an ass GM. That is correct.
He's worse than an ass. There's not enough words in the English language to talk him down. It's an ass clown.
Well, here's what we found out tonight. Sixers are picking at number 3, and Eric is a legend.
He is.
According to people on the comments section.
He is. Eric knows what's up.
Eric's the freaking man.
You are the man.
Just like Harry. So, all right. I don't see any more comments. So, all right, we can end this now. I mean, geez, we almost got this for an hour. We almost did this for an hour.
Wow.
So, all right, final thoughts?
I just don't know what we're going to do. I just hope we do our due diligence on who we're going to pick and just get behind it, Adrian. I would still go with Monk. I would hope if they do, just don't make a stupid decision because it's going to dictate the next 5 years and which we go, what direction our team goes. So if they do select Monk, I think trading back could be an option.
Yeah.
If it's for the right price.
I like Josh Jackson for this team. I'm just concerned about the scoring. You know, who are you going to get scoring from? But that fast break is going to be dynamite. Like think about it. Like, again, grab the board and go. You got Jackson alongside you. You're going to have Embiid on that trail 3. Like,
And let's not forget we have a ton of money in free agency. So if we do get Jackson, do we pursue a Gordon Hayward or I'm trying to think who else is a free agent, unrestricted free agent this year. But there are options there. So if
that's
they do
another show.
what's that?
That's another show.
Yeah. Slay a little seed in there a little bit. But that could be a question. I wouldn't be not happy with Josh Jackson. It's tough. I'm torn, but I still want Malik Monk the most out of any prospect.
If I had to guess, I think they're going Jackson and Lowry, and they're going to sign Lowry. I think that's what they're going to do.
It could happen.
I think that's realistically what's going to happen. I'm going to be torn about Monk and Jackson until draft night. So I don't know which one I'd want.
I just don't think Lowry fits with Simmons though.
Monk is just such a perfect fit here.
He is.
Like even on the breaks, man. Like, what do you do on breaks now? You like everybody spots up for 3. Monk can do that. Monk's a great trail shooter.
Yep. And so is Embiid. Embiid can do a little bit of it too.
Yeah. Monk, dude, I am very high on Monk's shooting ability. Like, I think he can be up there with Curry in terms of shooting.
I can get behind that.
But like the thing is like he is like a specialist. Like that's what he's gonna do. Sure, there's other things he can do, but it's primarily shooting. So like it's hard. It's just like, man, like you're really gonna use the number 3 overall pick on just like basically a shooter, and that's the thing that's hard to get behind.
I don't think he is just a specialist though. I know he relies a lot on his shooting, but I think he does other things.
I think he can do other things. I just think like he's just not as versatile as some of the other guys. That's all.
Okay.
So
that could be for another show.
Could be. I mean, he did used to play point guard. He was touted as a combo guard when coming into Kentucky.
When he was coming out of high school.
Yeah, so it's like he can definitely handle the ball. I think that's the underrated part about him. That I think people assume he can't handle the ball,
which he can. He's very good at doing
label as not being a shooter. It's like the Steph Curry thing. Like, people didn't realize that Steph could handle the ball just because he could shoot, you know?
But you rely on what you do best. You fall back on it because you can do it better than anybody else. So why stop doing it, you know? And plus, you know how Kentucky players get overshadowed for their talents.
Yeah, true. So
Towns was just looked at as a defenseman, but go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, I was just going to end it. So.
I know. I know you are. That's why I was just saying. That's why I'm just shutting up.
That's it. Yeah, it is 10 o'clock. It's past your bedtime.
It is. It is past your bedtime. Plus, the game's going on right now, too.
Yeah, I'm DVRing it, so I don't want to know anything about it. So.
Okay. I won't say nothing.
Yeah, I DVR'd it. All right, we're going to end the show now. I'll tell you what. Yo, if I can figure out a way to make draft videos, like kind of like what I'm doing now with the Eagles, I'm going to see if I can do it. Highlight a couple prospects. Talk about Monk, talk about Jackson. If I can figure out a way to do that and acquire some games and watch some film, I'll be bringing it. So hopefully we'll see if that happens.
All right. It has been. Is that your final thought? He has brought it, folks.
Yeah, I brought it. That's my final thought. I just thought about it right now, actually. So
it's a good idea.
If I can figure out a way to do it. So, all right, that's it. Kyle Gaffner, I'm Adrian Fetke. Hopefully you guys enjoyed tonight. And stop saying the N-word in the comments, please. Like, so fucked up.
No need for that.
Yeah. Peace.